Hi, everybody. Week number 14, APA style part three. This one's a little bit shorter than the other two parts, but very important. We'll look a little bit at how to cite sources in text for your APA style papers, how to understand how to format a references page, and then looking at some online resources for APA style writing. And a really big part of APA format is just knowing where to find those resources, right? Very few people have this kind of stuff memorized, like how to do a references page, but knowing where to go for help is huge. So we'll look at a couple of resources that can also be quite helpful in addition to like our writing center as a side note. And you could see in our lecture for this week, we had a little bit of a video from someone from the writing center, but they are also a wonderful resource that is available to you. So, looking at some APA in-text citation basics, when you're using APA format, you want to follow the author date method of in-text citation. What this means is that the author's last name and then the year of publication for the source should appear in the text, like for example, Jones, 1998. And I have more information on this in the other lecture and the like weekly lecture that I put out for you. And our writing center did a wonderful job of kind of going through this. But it's typically the year matters a lot in APA, which is why we're always putting that year in there. We want to know when the research was done. If you're referring to an idea from another work, but not directly quoting that material or making reference to an entire book, article, or other work, you only have to make reference to the author and year of publication, not the page number in your in-text reference. But if you're directly quoting or borrowing from another work, you should always include the page number at the end of the parenthetical citation. Use the abbreviation P for page or PP for multiple pages before listing the page numbers. Use a dash for page ranges. For example, you might write Jones 1998, page 199, or Jones, comma 1998, comma PP dot 199 to 201. So if you're citing something, if you're using quotations, you always want to quote the page numbers. And regardless of how they're referenced, all sources that are cited in the text must appear in the reference list or on the references page at the end of the paper. So you always want to make sure that anything at the end of the paper is also in the paper, and anything in the paper is also on the references page. Not a bad idea to go through, and you can eliminate anything that you don't end up using or add those that maybe you might have missed. I thought this was a really, really helpful graphic that I saw on the APA website. They talk a lot about like these steps to proper citation infographics. And like, I think that this is kind of a really helpful six-step infographic like process. So you want to read the work that you want to cite, right? So you go through, you read it, you skim it, you find some ideas that you want to put in your paper. That's number two. So let's say you read an article and you identify an idea that you want to put in your paper. Really great next practice. Write a sentence or two about that idea, right? Summarize it for yourself. And then write a reference list entry for the work, right? So create that reference page entry and then add the corresponding in-text citation to the sentence. That way you have all of that there. That way when you go to write your paper, you have a couple of sentences, right, that identify an idea. You have the reference list entry, the in-text citation entry, and then you just need to plug it into your paper. And you can repeat that as many times as you need to. But this is a really great practice to get into. Like one day from now, maybe years from now, when you're writing your master's thesis or your doctoral like PhD, like that you're working on that, you want to make sure that you're organized, right? And if you're reading a bunch of articles, having like the main idea or summary and then putting the source citation and then that in-text citation all together can be incredibly helpful. So just kind of a cool process to kind of get in the habit of doing when you're conducting research. In terms of the actual references page, the APA references page is a separate page or pages at the end of your paper where all of your sources in the main text are listed. Okay, so what you're going to see on this page is it will say references up at the top in the middle, right? And then it will have the page number up in the top right corner. A couple of like formatting things here. So it should be 1 inch margins on all sides, but that should be the margins for your paper in general. So you're just sticking with that same layout that you will have had, same formatting for your entire paper. You want to put references as the title in the center, not bold, just references. As I mentioned, the page number continues and is on the top right corner. You should have double spacing within and between references, right? So you'll have spacing not only within the reference, but also between the references. The one little tricky thing that APA loves to do is they have something called a hanging indent. You have a 1/2 inch hanging indent for references longer than one line. And you can see that right here, how it like has the author's name and this first line. And notice how this one is a little bit farther in. You see that again down here. It's this 1/2 inch hanging indent. And that's something that's actually not tricky to do. It's a setting that you can do in Word, for example, but it is something that is very much a hallmark of APA that you have that 1/2 inch hanging indent for anything longer than one line. And the references are always going to be sorted alphabetically by author. And this is one that I see people miss a lot. Like on the discussion this week, for example, don't forget to alphabetize them, right? So regardless of the type of source, they should be alphabetized on the references page, which makes it really easy for you to find the one that you're looking for. There are also an incredible number of free online resources that you can use to help you with writing papers in APA style. Very few people, as I said earlier, actually memorize these formatting rules. You just need to know where to go to find them. In addition to our writing center, as I mentioned earlier, here are a couple of great online resources. And here are two. There are an incredible number of them. You just want to make sure that they're up to date, that they have the most current version of the APA manual, and that they're using it. Scribr is a really great resource for APA style. It has a citation generator, a lot of really helpful like resources. And then probably the gold standard is the Purdue Online Writing Lab, or the OWL, a very, very popular online resource for APA formatting, along with like MLA and other styles. There are more, there are definitely more. And as I mentioned, our Writing Center is free to you as a student, and you can go in there and have them help you just with APA style citations, and they're really quite wonderful at it. Remember that online citation generators are rarely 100% accurate or trustworthy. They can be a great place to start, but always be sure to double check them before using it in a paper or an assignment. So, not a bad idea to put the source in there, have it generate the citation for you, but just make sure you give it a quick double check before you just plug it into a paper and assume that it's correct. So again, kind of a short and sweet. There's a lot more in the lecture this week because you have that video from the Writing Center, which I hope is really helpful. Make sure you watch all of that as it will add to what I just presented to you here. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will hope to see you all next week.